Hi, this is Michael Buckoff from BetterTOEFLScores.com, and my goal in this video is to help you get a much higher score on the independent speaking tasks of the TOEFL IBT, and particularly to help you do better. It's called the free choice and the paired choice responses, also known as independent speaking task 1 and independent speaking task number 2. Now, during this video, first I want to talk about how to create a good thesis statement for the free choice response, and then second, I want to talk about how to create a thesis statement for the paired choice response. Okay, first, let's talk about creating a thesis statement for the free choice response. To score high on the TOEFL IBT, and especially in the free choice response speaking task, you need to make sure that your speech clearly organizes around the speaking prompt. For example, if you saw the speaking prompt, what would be your dream job? Use specific reasons and examples to support your response. You would begin your speech by restating the speaking prompt. My ideal job would be. Then you would name the job, being specific. For example, you might say a coach. And finally, you would give 2 or 3 reasons to support your choice. For example, you might say teach lifelong skills and create future leaders. So essentially, your thesis statement in the speaking consists of you restate the speaking prompt, you name your choice, you state your reasons. Now, there's no TOEFL IBT grammar section per se, and the TOEFL is going to evaluate you in terms of your grammar as it applies to your speaking and your writing. So right now, to help you understand a little bit about developing a good thesis, I'm going to talk about 5 different kinds of grammar structures that you can use, I think, to express your idea to get your speech started. I recommend that you practice using all 5 of these structures over the next few days until you feel comfortable with the grammar. Okay, let's take a look at each grammar structure. So number 1, you can use what's called the independent clause plus an adverb clause. For example, my ideal job is to be a coach because it gives me the opportunity to teach lifelong skills and to create future leaders. So in this sentence, the independent clause is my ideal job is to be a coach, and the adverb clause is because it gives me the opportunity to teach lifelong skills and to create future leaders. Now number 2, it's possible to put the adverb clause first and then put the independent clause last. You could say this, same sentence, same idea, because it gives me the opportunity to teach lifelong skills and to create future leaders, my ideal job is to be a coach. Number 3, let's use what's called the independent clause, and then let's use an adjective clause, and then we use a noun clause. Here it is. Being a coach will offer me the chance to teach lifelong skills and to create future leaders, which is why it is my dream job. In this case, the independent clause, being a coach will offer me the chance to teach lifelong skills and to create future leaders. The adjective clause is which is, and the noun clause why it is my dream job. So that's a third way that you can structure the grammar with this type of thesis. Number 4, this is probably the one that you're using a lot and probably too much. You're using 2 separate sentences, an independent clause and an independent clause. Remember, this is just one way, not the only way that you can do it, but you could certainly say, my ideal job is to be a coach. It will give me the opportunity to teach lifelong skills and to create future leaders. Now be careful though, if you use grammar number 4, if you use this kind of grammar too much in the speech, you're not going to get a higher score because you're not showing advanced grammar. The only way you can show advanced grammar is you begin combining sentences using what we call complex and compound structures. All right, number 5. Number 5 is called a compound sentence. You have an independent clause, then you have a conjunction, then you have an independent clause. It will give me the opportunity to teach lifelong skills and to create future leaders. So my ideal job is to be a coach. Okay, let's take a look at a sample speaking for this particular, for the free choice speaking task. So you see the question up here. It says, who is the most important person in your family? Why? Be sure to give specific examples and reasons to support your choice. Without a doubt, the most important person in my family is my mother because she is the breadwinner and provides love and support to my siblings and me. Since my father passed away 5 years ago, my mother has been the one who earns the money. Because of her, my brother and I are able to study abroad in the United States to learn English. Also, she pays all the monthly bills that we have. Without her, I think my brother and I would not have financial support from anyone. My mother is also an important person to me and my family because she gives us love and support, many times by letter, by phone, or in person. My mother tells me that she loves us even when we have problems or bad attitudes. Additionally, she supports us by giving positive encouragement to pursue our dreams. Consequently, because of the financial support, the love, and the support that my mother gives my family and me, I would have to say she's the most important person in my family. First of all, the speaker restates the question. Notice the question is, who is the most important person in the family? Notice in the first paragraph, the speaker says, the most important person in my family is. So this is very important that you restate the question. It gives your speech a very clear direction. Number 2, the speaker includes 2 points to give the speech an organized direction. Notice how the speaker says, my mother, she's the breadwinner and provides love and support. These are 2 important points that this speech is going to develop. It's important to do that in the beginning of your speech. The third strength of this speech, the speaker restates the first point of the thesis in the second paragraph. Notice how it says, my mother has been the one who earns the money. Now, it's even more sophisticated. Breadwinner is a good vocabulary word. It means a person who earns money. So earning money and breadwinner, these ideas are exactly the same in meaning. Number 4, the speaker uses details to support the topic in the second part of this speech. For example, because of her, my brother and I are able to study abroad in the United States to learn English. Also, she pays all the monthly bills that we have. So those are good examples to help support the topic of that paragraph. Now let's go to the next part of the speech, and this is the 5th thing that I like about this speech. The speaker restates the second points of the thesis. Notice here in this 3rd paragraph it says she gives us love and support. Notice how in the first paragraph, in the first part of the speech, in the thesis, it says love and support. So that gives it a very good connection. Now, number 6, the speaker gives good examples to support this concept of love and support. Notice the speaker says many times by letter, by phone, or in person. My mother tells us that she loves us. Additionally, she supports us by giving positive encouragement to pursue our dreams. Those are good details to support this idea of love and also support. Number 7, the speaker includes a brief conclusion by restating the key points of the speech. Remember in the beginning, it said breadwinner, which means makes money, and then provides love and support. Now let's take a look at the conclusion. Consequently, because of the financial support, the love, and the support that my mother gives my family and me, I would have to say that she is the most important person in my family. So the conclusion kind of goes back to the beginning there. Now this sample speech is going to get 30 out of 30 points. Now you don't have to be this perfect though to get 4 out of 4. I think you can make some mistakes, you can have some pauses in there that maybe aren't needed or whatever. It doesn't have to be exactly this good. I'm just trying to give you a standard to show you something that would be really, really good. So your goal is to try to get close to this. Now with practice, you can also give a speech just like this. Number one, you need to be organized. Number two, you need to be able to speak between 100 and 150 words a minute with clear pronunciation. You got to practice doing this. 3, you need to use advanced grammar structures, and you need to have some pretty good vocabulary. If you do these 4 things, you practice a lot, keeping these 4 things in mind, you can definitely improve in your speaking skills and do much better on the TOEFL. Now it's time to practice. I've given you some instruction here, but let's face it here. You got to try some of this stuff out on your own. I want you to complete some practice exercises in which you brainstorm for ideas to represent the main points of your speech. Then I want you to use appropriate grammar to combine these ideas into your topic statement, which makes sure it restates the question. So let's go to exercise 1. This is called Choose Topic. As you see each category on the screen, quickly decide on a topic that you could comfortably speak about. Do not take more than about 5 seconds to decide. Write down your choice on a sheet of paper. Number 1, class. Number 2, holiday. Number 3, food. Number 4, movie. Number 5, relative. Number 6, job. Number 7, pet. Number 8, exercise. Number 9, month. Number 10, country. Now the main point here is to just take the general idea and try to put something more specific. You don't exactly know what the question is going to be yet, but you're basically trying to take something general and write a specific category or a specific topic that would go underneath that. For example, if you said class, I might say Biology 101. If you say holiday, I might say Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's Day or something. You see what I'm saying? You have to think quickly. You got to make sure that you can look at a general idea and then you can narrow that down to something more specific. This is absolutely critical for your success on the independent speaking tasks. Exercise 2. Restate the speaking prompt, list reasons. Read each speaking prompt, quickly decide on a topic that you could comfortably speak about, then list 2 to 3 adjectives, nouns, or verbs that you could use as support points. Do not take more than about 15 to 20 seconds to decide, then write down your topic and reasons on a sheet of paper. Alright, number 1. Describe a class you've taken and explain why it is important to you. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Question number 2. Name your favorite holiday and explain why it is important to you. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Number 3. Name your favorite type of food and explain why you like it. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Number 4. Name a movie that you recently watched. Explain why you liked it so much. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Question 5. Which relative is most important to you? Why? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Six. Name a job that would be ideal for you. Explain why you would enjoy that job. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Seven. What is your favorite type of pet? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Eight. Name a form of exercise that you enjoy or would enjoy doing. Why do you or would you like it so much? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Question 9. What is your favorite month? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Question 10. If someone moved to your country, what would he or she like about your country? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Exercise 3. Using your notes from the previous exercises, create a thesis or topic statement for the following questions. In addition, use the grammar structure indicated after each speaking prompt. So what I'm trying to get you to do here is to create a thesis which is organized around the speaking topic, and to try to use a variety of grammar structures during that process. Now just pause, and at this point we know that during the speaking you only have about 20 seconds to figure all this stuff out, but right now I want you to stop the video after I read the question and take all the time you need. Get it right. Sometimes it's good to get it right from the beginning, and then you can get faster and you can work on developing this skill later on, but it's very important that you do this correctly. Number 1, describe a class you've taken and explain why it is important to you. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Now this one, use an independent clause and an adverb clause. Number 2, name your favorite holiday and explain why it is important to you. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. This time, use an adverb clause and then an independent clause. Number 3, name your favorite type of food and explain why you like it. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, an adjective clause, and a noun clause. Number 4, name a movie that you recently watched. Explain why you liked it so much. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. And in this time, use a compound sentence. Use an independent clause, a conjunction, and another independent clause. 5, which relative is most important to you? Why? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, a conjunction, and another independent clause. Question 6. Name a job that would be ideal for you. Explain why you would enjoy that job. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an independent clause and an adverb clause. Number 7. What is your favorite type of pet? Include details and reasons to support your explanation, and in the grammar, use an adverb clause and then an independent clause. Eight, name a form of exercise you enjoy or would enjoy doing. Why do or would you like it so much? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an independent clause, an adjective clause, and a noun clause. Number 9. What is your favorite month? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, a conjunction, and another independent clause. 10. If someone moved to your country, what would he or she like about your country? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause and another independent clause, so you're essentially using two separate sentences. Possible thesis statements. Now remember here, there's 1,000 ways to answer these questions, right? You can say just about anything you want as long as you're organized, as long as you give some specific details to support your generalizations. You're going to do pretty well on it. Now, I'm going to give you just possible thesis statements of how you could answer it, and notice that in all 10 cases I'm trying to use the grammar that I was trying to get you to use in the first place. So you want to make sure that you check your grammar, make sure it's correct, and you have some good points around which you can organize the rest of your speech. Number 1. Describe a class you took, explain why it is important or was important to you, include details and reasons to support your explanation. In this case, use an independent clause and then an adverb clause. Here is your thesis. A biology class I took in high school during my senior year was important because it determined my major in college and I met my best friend there. Number 2. Name your favorite holiday and explain why it is important to you. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an adverb clause and an independent clause. Here we go. Because of the chance to see my relatives and the 2-week vacation I get from work, Christmas is my favorite holiday of the year. Number 3. Name your favorite type of food and explain why you like it. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, an adjective clause, and a noun clause. Pizza is inexpensive, delicious, and convenient, which is why it is my favorite type of food. Number 4. Name a movie that you recently watched. Explain why you liked it so much. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In this case, use 2 separate sentences. Here it is. I recently watched the movie The Curious Case of Benjamin Button starring Brad Pitt. The acting, the love story, and the special effects made it an enjoyable movie. Number 5. Which relative is most important to you? Why? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use a independent clause, a conjunction, and an independent clause. My father taught me how to love, how to work hard, and how to be financially solvent, so he is my most important relative. 6. Name a job that would be ideal for you. Explain why you would enjoy that job. Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause and an adverb clause. My dream job would be a doctor because it would allow me to help people and to challenge my intellect. Number 7. What is your favorite type of pet? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an adverb clause and an independent clause. Because it is affectionate, loyal, and soft to hug, my favorite pet is a dog. Number 8. Name a form of exercise you enjoy or would enjoy doing. Why do or would you like it so much? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, an adjective clause, and a noun clause. Walking is convenient, safe, and healthy, which is why I enjoy doing it daily. Number 9. What is your favorite month? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, a conjunction, and an independent clause. It is the time of my 2-week vacation and my birthday, so I always look forward to July, my favorite month of the year. Number 10. If someone moved to your country, what would he or she like about your country? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Here, use an independent clause and an independent clause, 2 separate sentences. Upon moving to my country, a person would enjoy the beautiful beaches and the plentiful museums. He or she would also like the friendly people. And there's your sample. Answers, sample thesis statements. Now let me just make a point as we kind of finish the first section of this video. The TOEFL is never going to ask you to use a particular grammar structure during the speaking or during the writing section, right? Now I've been asking you here, use a independent clause and use an adverb clause or use 2 separate sentences, things of that nature. The TOEFL would never ask that. The TOEFL does look for, it's called advanced grammar structures. And that was the purpose of what I was trying to do right now in the video, is to get you used to creating different types of sentence structures as you're speaking. Now, right now, you're probably practicing writing these things down. Now, in addition to writing them down, I encourage you to practice out loud using these grammar structures, especially if they're new to you. You don't want to use exactly the same grammar on every speaking task during the TOEFL IBT. That's not going to show the TOEFL human raters that you have high or advanced grammar skills. So that's essentially the purpose of the instruction that I was doing. Alright, let's get into the second half of the video, and now we're talking about creating a thesis statement for the paired choice response. This is the second independent speaking task. Now essentially, a lot of the material I've taught you so far in this video, it's not going to be anything drastically different, but I think it's good to practice creating thesis statements for both of these types of independent speaking tasks. Okay, first of all, to score high in the TOEFL IBT, you want to make sure that your speech clearly organizes around the speaking prompt. So make sure that you make a choice and don't try to discuss both choices, for you're not going to have enough time to do that. For example, if they say, do you think it's better to study at home or study in the library? There's no way in 45 seconds that you can adequately argue both of these points and give enough adequate supporting details to support both of these points. It is simply not possible. So please limit your focus. Make a choice. For example, if you saw the speaking prompt, do you prefer to attend a large or a small class? Use specific reasons and examples to support your response. You'd begin your speech by restating the speaking prompt, I prefer to attend. Then you'd make your choice, small class. Finally, you'd give 2 or 3 reasons to support your choice. You might say more interaction with professor, better relationship with classmates, and higher test scores. So you would do a restatement of the speaking prompt, name your choice, state your reasons. That's your thesis statement. That's what you're going to do in the first 8 or 9 seconds of the speech. Remember, the introduction of the speech is the head, and that will lead the direction of the rest of the speech. If you're not organized and very, very focused from the start, the rest of the speech will also not be organized and will also not be focused. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to help you get focused from the start. That's the key. Alright, let's talk about some grammar structures that you can use to help you frame your thesis or topic statement for the paired choice response. Okay, let's look at the first grammatical structure. Again, you're using the same grammar that I introduced to you in the beginning of this video. The only tricky part about what you're working on right now is you got these A or B things, so there is a lot of possible problems with what's called parallel structure, with more or than, better than, greater than, smaller than, all of that kind of stuff. So you want to be really careful about your grammar, especially with comparing things. Okay, number one, we're going to use an independent clause and an adverb clause. We'll say something like this: in choosing between the two, I prefer small classes because I have more interaction with professor, better relationship with classmates, and higher test scores. Number two, let's kind of reverse, and we'll say because I have more interaction with professor, better relationship with classmates, and higher test scores, I prefer small classes. How about number three? Small classes offer more interaction with professor, better relationship with classmates, and higher test scores, which is why I prefer them. In this case, you're using an independent clause, and then an adjective clause, and finally a noun clause. 4. Small classes offer more interaction with professor, better relationship with classmates, and higher test scores. Therefore, I prefer small classes. Now the grammar here, you're using two separate independent clauses, two separate sentences. Notice the period after scores, therefore, comma, and that becomes your second sentence. Number 5. Small classes offer more interaction with professor, better relationship with classmates, and higher test scores, so I prefer small classes. In this case, I use an independent clause, then I use the conjunction so, and then I use my second independent clause. So mix it up. Practice using a variety of different types of grammar structures, especially your goal when you're doing TOEFL speaking is make sure you combine sentences quite often, and that helps demonstrate advanced grammar knowledge to the TOEFL IBT human raters who are scoring your speaking. All right, let's take a look at a sample paired choice speaking task. Here's a question. Students may choose to take classes in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. Which time do you prefer to take classes? In the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening? Be sure to use details and examples to support your point of view. Okay, here's how you could answer this particular speaking task. I think I'd like to attend classes in the evening because my work schedule and my tendency to sleep in will conflict with taking my classes. First, I have a job which requires me to work Monday through Friday from 11 to 4 p.m. Thus, I would have to take my classes in the evening so it would not conflict with my job. Second, I like doing things at night. For example, if I'm not studying, I like to go to discos and dance halls to meet people. Also, I like to watch movies at night with my friends. For these reasons, I usually do not go to bed until about 2 a.m. Consequently, I would not want to take any morning classes because I like to sleep in till about 10 a.m. As a result, because I have a 11 to 4 p.m. work schedule and I don't like to get up early for class, I would prefer to take classes in the evening. There are 7 things I think that make this a pretty good speech. I think this is going to score 30 out of 30. Number 1, the speaker restates the speaking prompt and introduces 2 reasons. Notice, I'd like to attend classes in the evening. That restates the speaking prompt, and then the speaker says my work schedule and my tendency to sleep in. So these are 2 key points which basically organize the rest of the essay. Number 2, the speaker restates first reason from thesis. Notice here it says first, I have a job which requires me to work Monday through Friday from 11 to 4 p.m. So you notice in the beginning it says my work schedule or work and job are similar. Now the third characteristic here in this second paragraph here, the speaker gives details to support topics. So you have the job, and at this job the person has to work from 11 to 4, thus the person wants to take classes in the evening. And you could argue that maybe one more detail or example here would probably better support it, but still it's pretty good. Alright, let's go to 4. In the fourth characteristic here, the speaker restates second reason from thesis. For example, a person says, I like doing things at night. But no, this is kind of the interesting thing with this one is actually that's not really the topic. The writer, not the speaker, gives the topic near the end of this particular part of the speech. Says, because I like to sleep in till 10 a.m. and that goes up to the beginning, tendency to sleep in. Number 5, the speaker provides details to support topic. For example, the person definitely likes to sleep in. Why? The person likes to go to discos and dance halls and also likes to watch movies at night, so the person doesn't get to bed until 2 a.m. Therefore, the person doesn't want any morning classes because the person likes to sleep in. So this is excellent. This is stronger than the previous paragraph we looked at because this one is better supported with more examples. All right, let's go to 6. The speaker restates the key points to give the speech a coherent conclusion. Notice at the end of the speech here I have an 11 to 4 p.m. work schedule. That goes back to the first part and also this second paragraph here. And then the person says, I don't like to get up early for class, and that's a tendency to sleep in, and also refers to the point made in the second paragraph. So the conclusion, it connects back to the rest of the speech. So there's a very tight organization to these ideas. Also, by using transition words, the speaker clearly connects the ideas in the speech. For example, you notice words like first, thus, second, for example, also, for these reasons, consequently, and therefore, as ways of connecting all these ideas together. Now, practice giving and recording speeches following a similar organization. When you take the TOEFL, even if it's the first time that you've taken this test, this is not the first time you've practiced doing these kinds of speaking tasks. This is not something that you can just show up one day and all of a sudden do a great job and get 26 out of 30. That's not going to happen. It takes several weeks of organizing, practicing, responding, recording your voice, and so on. So I got 5 basic suggestions here, things that you want to think about as you practice speaking. Number 1, make sure you can speak 100 to 150 words a minute with clear pronunciation. Number 2, practice creating sharply focused thesis statements. Number 3, make sure your topic sentences restate the key points from the thesis. 4, provide details to support your topic so your speech has depth. And lastly, 5, use transitions to connect ideas together. In the last part of the video, you're now going to complete some exercises in which you brainstorm for ideas to represent the main points of your speech, then use appropriate grammar to combine the ideas into your topic statement, which restates the question. Okay, let's go with exercise 1 first. Choose topic. As you see each category on the screen, quickly choose between the 2 options. Do not take more than 5 seconds to decide. Write down your choice on a sheet of paper. Now remember, for the TOEFL IBT speaking, it doesn't matter which one you choose. Choose. That's the most important thing. Don't try to discuss both positions. There's simply not enough time to do that in 45 seconds. Okay, number 1, traditional class or online class? Number 2, travel or stay at home during a holiday? Number 3, vegetables or fruit? Number 4, watching movies on television or at the theater? Five, go to advice. Go to for advice, father or mother? Number 6, doctor or lawyer? Number 7, dog or cat? Number 8, run or swim? Number 9, January or June? Number 10, vacation in the mountains or at the beach? Exercise 2. Restate the speaking prompt and list reasons. Read each speaking prompt, quickly make a choice between the 2 options, then list 2 to 3 adjectives, nouns, or verbs that you could use as support points. Do not take more than 15 to 20 seconds to make your choice and list your reasons. Write down your topic and reasons on a sheet of paper. Number 1. When taking university courses, which class do you prefer, a traditional class or an online class? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Number 2. During a holiday, would you prefer to travel or stay at home? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Number 3. Which do you prefer to eat, vegetables or fruit? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Number 4. Would you rather watch movies or television? Let me say that again. Would you rather watch movies on television or at the theater? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Question 5. Whom do you talk to more often when you're getting advice? Your father or your mother? Number 6. If you had to choose between becoming a doctor or a lawyer, which profession would you most likely join? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Question 7. Is a dog or cat a more practical pet for you? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Question number 8. In choosing between running and swimming, which form of exercise do you most prefer? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Number 9. Which month do you like better, January or June? Why? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Number 10. When going on vacation, would you rather vacation in the mountains or at the beach? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Exercise 3. Using your notes from the previous exercises, create a thesis or topic statement for the following questions. In addition, use the grammar structure indicated after each speaking prompt. Now, after you do one, or after you hear me read it, just pause the video and take all the time that you need here. Do not feel rushed. Like I said earlier in the video, it's more important that you do this right then you feel rushed. Now obviously when you get on the speaking you have to go very fast, but if you practice getting it right now and you practice using a variety of different grammatical structures as you create your thesis statement for your speaking, I think that you can definitely shoot for higher than 26 points out of 30. Now I know if you're watching this video, this is probably your goal, is 26 points out of 30, but remember, if you want to get above 26, you have to get the speech exactly right from the beginning. The worst thing you want to do is to start off with a real general vague thesis and with grammatically flawed sentence structures. Okay, here we go. Number 1. When taking university courses, which class do you prefer? A traditional class or an online class? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an independent clause and an adverb clause. Number 2. During a holiday, would you prefer to travel or stay at home? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Here, use an adverb clause and then an independent clause. Three. Which do you prefer to eat, vegetables or fruit? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Here, use an independent clause, an adjective clause, and then a noun clause. Four. Would you rather watch movies on television or at the theater? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Here, use an independent clause and another independent clause. You're going to use two separate sentences. Now in the second sentence, see if you can use a transition word that will help connect that sentence to the previous idea. Five. Whom do you talk to more often when you're getting advice? Your father or your mother? Here, use an independent clause, a conjunction, and another independent clause. Six. If you had to choose between becoming a doctor or a lawyer, which profession would you most likely join? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an independent clause and an adverb clause. Seven. Is a dog or cat a more practical pet for you? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an adverb clause and an independent clause. Question 8. In choosing between running or swimming, which form of exercise do you most prefer? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an independent clause, an adjective clause, and a noun clause. Nine. Which month do you like better, January or June? Why? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an independent clause, a conjunction, and another independent clause. Ten. When going on vacation, would you rather vacation in the mountains or at the beach? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In your grammar, use an independent clause and another independent clause, which means two separate sentences, but don't forget, in that second sentence, I think it's wise for you to try to choose a transition word that will connect that idea to the previous idea. Possible thesis statements. Now, of course, your thesis statement is going to be different than mine, but just try to stay organized and notice that in my thesis statements here I tried to exemplify the grammar structure that we were focusing on in each answer. Number one, when taking university courses, which class do you prefer, a traditional class or an online class? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Independent clause plus adverb clause. In choosing between taking traditional or online university classes, I will choose traditional classes because they offer face-to-face contact with professors and allow me to concentrate better on the class content. So in this case, I used an independent clause and then an adverb clause. 2. During a holiday, would you prefer to travel or stay at home? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. In the grammar, use an adverb clause and an independent clause. Since I have a rental vacation home near the beach, and since I need to get away from the stresses of my hometown, I prefer to travel when I take a vacation. Number 3. Which do you prefer to eat, vegetables or fruit? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, an adjective clause, and a noun clause. Fruit tastes sweeter, doesn't need to be cooked, and doesn't need to be refrigerated, which is why I prefer fruit over vegetables. 4. Would you rather watch movies on television or at the theater? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause and another independent clause, two separate sentences. Watching movies is my favorite hobby, and I prefer to watch them on television due to the convenience, my fabulous surround sound theater system, and the financial savings. 5. Whom do you talk to more often when you're getting advice? Your father or your mother? In this case, use an independent clause and a conjunction, another independent clause, and here's my thesis. My father and I have a better relationship and share more mutual interests, especially when it comes to work and education, so I seek advice from him more often. Number 6. If you had to choose between becoming a doctor or a lawyer, which profession would you most likely join? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause and an adverb clause. I would choose to become a doctor because I would be able to help the sick, perform vital, life-saving research, and make more money. 7. Is a dog or cat more practical pet for you? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an adverb clause plus an independent clause. Because a dog gives me more affection, is more obedient, and exhibits fervent loyalty, it would be more practical pet for me than a cat. Number 8. In choosing between running or swimming, Which form of exercise do you most prefer? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause plus an adjective clause plus a noun clause. Running is more convenient, easier, and more adventuresome than swimming, which is why I prefer to do it instead of swimming. Number 9. Which month do you like better, January or June? Why? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause, a conjunction, and an independent clause again. June is the start of summer, the month when my parents come to visit me and my family, and the month when I finish school for the year, so it is definitely a much more enjoyable month for me than January. Number 10. When going on vacation, would you rather vacation in the mountains or at the beach? Include details and reasons to support your explanation. Use an independent clause and an independent clause again, two separate sentences. Vacationing in the mountains offers a break from the hectic city and many breathtakingly scenic hikes near rivers. Consequently, I would rather vacation in the mountains than at the beach. There you go. If you've come to the end of this video, and if you have at least done half of the exercises in this video, you are moving forward with your speaking. Trust me, you're going to do well on the TOEFL. Now here's your next challenge. You already have seen here, I gave you 10 speaking prompts for Independent Speaking Task 1. I gave you 10 independent speaking tasks for the second type of speaking task. Now what you want to do is you want to practice giving full speeches now. You already have worked on making a choice or choosing between two options. You've listed some things down. You've even created some sample thesis statements. Hopefully you've been doing this stuff. Now what you want to do now is prepare 20 speeches. Now each speech, basically you can take the thesis statement you've already developed, and then you want to give a 45-second speech answering that question, and make sure that you record your voice giving the speech, so that way you can play it back again and listen to it and analyze it. So practicing this over a period of several weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and of course when you're doing this, work on your grammar structures, your vocabulary, work on your pronunciation, and make sure you stay organized. Follow the organizational patterns that you can see in the 2 sample speeches that I analyzed during this video. And practice makes perfect. It really does. You can do it. You can score high on the speaking. You can be one of the few who get more than 26 points out of 30. You got to believe it. You got to believe yourself. So I definitely wish the best of luck for you and all of your speaking tasks, and next month I will have a different video to help you even more in your speaking skills. So until then, see you later.